and welcome to another film reviews video. As always, I will leave timestamps to the films that I talk about in the description box below if you want to scroll to one particular film or just hear my thoughts on one film and not the other three that I'm mentioning in this video. There will be no film review video next week. My next one will be in 2 weeks time, just because it's Thanksgiving next week and so away for the weekend. So yeah, 2 weeks time for the next film review video. The first film I saw this week was the Grinch, the new Grinch film, which was #1 at the box office this weekend. I thought it was quite good. I really enjoyed the music. I thought it was interesting the people they'd chosen to voice some of the characters. I have to state that I definitely prefer the Jim Carrey one, which I actually only watched quite recently. It was like last Christmas that I watched it for the first time, even though it's been around for quite a while. But yeah, I think if you were to ask me which I would go for out of the two, I would say the Jim Carrey one. But this one, like I say, had really good score. Also, Kenan Thompson from SNL and Kenan and Kel voices one of the characters, and he was very, very funny, that character, and just the way he's voiced him, I could tell straight away that it was him. And I don't know if it's because I'm used to him voicing different characters on SNL, and so it just cracked me up every time he had a scene on that, but it was very, very funny. They have added some bits to the original poem. They've still got the lines from the original poem, but with some elaboration, with some extra bits on there, which I don't know because I know the original one so well. I know it's not a poem, it's a whole book written in verse, but yeah, I don't know if it's because I know the rhyming so well. They would be going along saying a bit and then add a little extra bit and be like, oh, I was mouthing along with that. I don't know what's going on. But it was really good, and if you're wanting to kind of get into the Christmassy feeling, see your first Christmas film, it is a good, nice place to start. Then the next film that I saw was Can You Ever Forgive Me, which is Melissa McCarthy in her biopic of Lee Israel. Lee Israel forged several letters from people of interest, historical figures, historical celebrities, and sold them when her own kind of writing career had hit a bit of a stumbling block or dried up a little bit. It was a very intense film, but very good. I really enjoyed it. I never kind of was checking the time or, you know, thinking about how long we had left. It's her and Richard E. Grant. Obviously, Ben Falcone, her husband, is in it because he's in all of her films, but he plays a straight guy. She plays a straight guy. He plays a straight guy. If anything is convincing you to go and see this film, just go and see it to watch the two of them playing straight characters, which they don't do very often. The Richard E. Grant character is also based on a real life person. He is gay, and so is Melissa McCarthy's character, Lee Israel. And so they meet and chat in this bar and kind of form these ideas about what they're going to do next. Some of it is quite painful to watch because she's obviously quite desperate and that's why she's doing it, but I think it's really, really well done, and it shows a grittier side of New York City as well, which is always nice to see, kind of people actually living in New York rather than the stuff we see on sitcoms where they all have big lofts and we just have the establishing scenes and then, you know, the rest is the studio. So that side of it was good as well. Then I went to see, straight after this one, so I saw all these three films in the same day, but I saw The Grinch in the morning, then went to work and did what I had to do, and then saw Can You Ever Forgive Me, and literally walked out of that theatre and into another one to see Nobody's Fool, which is the new Tyler Perry comedy starring Tiffany Haddish, and yeah, I think most of the films that I've seen this year with her in, aside from Night School, which I did enjoy, I just haven't enjoyed, and I don't know if it's because of her, but I think maybe I will be a little more wary to see films with her in it because I didn't enjoy this one a whole lot. It is a comedy, and there were some funny bits. Whoopi Goldberg is in it. but it kind of feels very disjointed. A bit like when I saw Girls Trip last year, it felt very disjointed, and you had that thing, really annoying thing, where they've obviously edited the two sides of the camera from a conversation together and just not done a good job. So you see them talking and then it goes to behind them and they're not moving their lips, or the other person's talking but they're moving their lips, and it's just, I think it's just quite lazy editing. So this film had that problem as well. It also is going along being this comedy. Somebody's up for a promotion, her sister's just got out of prison, she's taken her in, and you've got all the hijinks that ensue because of that. And then all of a sudden there's this sex scene, and it's got this kind of like softcore porn music playing, and all these like arty close-ups of their bodies as it's in there, and it just doesn't fit with the tone of the film, or the tone of where we're at in the film. Like, you could have a sex scene at that moment in the film, absolutely, but just the fact that you then have the music and the soft focus and the like close-up of toes curling that made my stomach curl, it was just, that really didn't work. And then the storyline goes in a certain direction where some people are way more forgiving than I really think they would have been in real life, and so I just didn't believe it from that point onwards. So they lost me then. Maybe I should have left. I wanted to see how they ended it, but yeah, way more trust than they should have been given, and just forgiveness like that, yeah, not my favourite. Then, yesterday, I went to see Instant Family, which is based on a true story, or based on several true stories, because it all surrounds fostering and adoption. And so you have the main family that we follow deciding that they're going to go down the foster parent route and possibly down the adoption route following that. It's Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne play a couple who adopt. They initially want to foster one teenage child, but she has two younger siblings, so thus the term instant family. And we obviously see what they go through in their fostering process, the settling in process, and then what happens after that honeymoon period is over. But they take a fostering course, which is led by these two fantastic women who are just both really well acted. There always this kind of good cop, bad cop dynamic between the two of them that just makes for some comedy relief from what is a serious subject. They've had to tread a very fine line between seriousness and comedy. And yeah, so they go through this fostering parent 8-week course and graduate from that, and we meet these other couples. Yeah, we follow these other couples and one single woman, and they talk about the children that ideally they would like to bring into their homes, and we follow what children they end up with and how their journey goes. And yeah, some of them don't cope as well as others. Some of them have very different experience to what they expected, and it was just a wonderful film. All of that sounds like, you know, it's going to be quite comedic, and there was definitely some bits that I laughed out loud at, but I did cry the whole way through the film because of these children getting these families, and the stories about their backgrounds, and the stories about other children that they've dealt with, and the stories of the parents as well, and their new relationship as new families. And I just thought they did a really good job of walking that fine line. Yeah, I just thought it was wonderful, and it's definitely something that I would like to see again, even though it's a 2-hour film and I did literally cry the whole time. I would know this time to take tissues. Thankfully, I was wearing long sleeves, so I could, you know, wipe the tears a little bit. And I did laugh. I did as well. I did laugh. But I just thought it was a really great story, and I think I'm really glad that it got to be told and the film got to be made. It was just very enjoyable, and I definitely recommend that one. Out of the 4 that I've seen, I recommend that one the most, definitely. It was just really good. So yeah, I will have another film review video for you in 2 weeks' time. I will have a book review not book review, but book videos for you next Monday and Wednesday. I won't do one on Friday just because it's Thanksgiving, and so people will be shopping, let's face it, it's Black Friday. So I will be back with another book video for you this Monday and Wednesday, and then the Monday after normal service will resume. So I will see you in 2 weeks for another film review video. Make sure you subscribe so that lands in your subscription feed. Let me know in the comments below if there's any new releases that you would like me to go and watch and share my thoughts on. More than willing to do that. And thank you very much for watching. Bye.